My first question is about what you just announced. I mean, in the past, or in the recent past, Saudi Arabia has made it very clear that it prefers, the FTA to be with the GCC and not with the individual members of the GCC. And my understanding, I don't know if that was the case with the EU, but with other countries, for instance, the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia made it clear to the United Kingdom that it may limit its access to the Saudi market if it went ahead and signed bilateral deals, specifically with the UAE. I don't know if that was something similar was communicated to the European Union by the Saudi side, and how do you see, the launch of the talks with the United Arab Emirates impacting, your talks with Saudi Arabia, with the GCC about a deal on that front, and I guess also maybe His Excellency, if you want to comment on it as well.
Let me start. The UAE started the bilateral CPAs.
I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Sorry. Sam Dagger, senior Middle East reporter at Bloomberg News.
The UAE started the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement program almost 3 years and a half, and we concluded 27 agreements. Meanwhile, we're still part of the GCC negotiation bloc, and we're negotiating with many countries. We managed to conclude with some countries, which as well was the foundation for the conclusion between GCC and those nations, namely New Zealand. We concluded, and that facilitated the conclusion with the New Zealand just a few months after that. With South Korea is exactly the same. We concluded with South Korea, and then the GCC managed to break a deal with the South Korea. So we're not seeing this as a hurdle. We're seeing it's a flow which is going to be starting from here and moving to the GCC. But at the same time, I know that my colleague, His Excellency Maroš, is in discussion with the GCC, but usually the blocks are much slower than the bilateral, and that's why we're starting here, so we can move quickly, and this could be feeding into the bigger picture of the GCC. So that is our answer, and it's the same thing with the UK. We as well, within the UK, we're negotiating through the GCC, and we had the opportunity as well to start the bilateral track, but we decided to focus our efforts into the GCC UK track since it's going to be covering most of our interests. That was the case as well with China. The Chinese approached us to have a bilateral on the sideline of the GCC China negotiation, and again we're reflecting most of our interests on that. So we're seeing how fast we can move within the GCC, and then we decide if we're going to go through bilateral or the bloc. And the same thing here with the EU. We know that the bloc is going to take much longer time, which is the case by the way with the UK. It's taking almost more than 2 years so far, and the average of the speed of our bilateral CEPA is 6 months. And that's why we're very keen in concluding this in a very short period, 3 to 6 months from now.
Thank you very much for your question. First and foremost, I want to say that we've been absolutely transparent with our Saudi partners and with the GCC top team, including Secretary General from the moment one, and I think we had the first meetings with them already in Davos, which I think was in late January, and also when we decided to proceed with the launching of our free trade agreements, we informed our Saudi partners as well as GCC Secretary General, and I'm very happy that I'm going to meet them and have talks with them again next week in Paris. And what we also been very clear about was the fact that we are ready to move as quickly as GCC would be ready for the region to region, the free trade agreement, that we are absolutely prepared for that. And for us, the possibility to have a speedy conclusions with the UAE in these very challenging trading times is a very welcome opportunity, because I also believe that we can conclude it definitely between 3 to 6 months, and we see it as a building block of a wider region-to-region free trade agreement, and of course we would be extremely pleased if we can accomplish it, and we'll be ready to do it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellencies. Any further questions? Go ahead. Your name and your institution, please.
Yes.
President Trump leave, and he's left with promises of billions, if not trillions, in investment from the UAE and the wider region. And are we keeping score? So do you have a tally of numbers? And secondly, I wanted to ask if there's been any update to the blacklisting by the EU of the UAE and how that might affect this trade relationship. Are we looking at getting off the list, and what's the conversation and the negotiations like? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question. I think we've been having our substantial discussion with His Excellency way before we knew that the visit of the President Trump will take place to the UAE. So I think our interest is clearly long term, and we decided to go in that direction because we see how our economies are complementary. I was just highlighting in my introductory remarks that we are almost hitting 100 billion euros in trade in goods and services without FTA. We are already biggest investor here. I mean, if you look at the figure, $350 billion of investment, I think that's quite impressive. So we clearly see a huge potential in further development of trade and investment. And here in UAE, we also see enormous possibilities for, I would say, the modern sectors of trade. I was signing digital trade agreement in Singapore a couple of weeks ago. Clearly, we see how the trade in services is growing. We know that UAE is also focused on clean tech, green tech, and lots of, I would say, sectors where we clearly are very complementary and where is the, I would say, mutual interest from the investors and businesses, and we just want to create better frame for them. So this is definitely not about settling the scores. This is about I would say, a long-term interest. And of course, every good investment, every sound investment is welcome. So I mean, I think that goes for both sides. And as I said, therefore we are very proud to be such important investors here. If it comes to your second part of the questions, we do not see these processes as interrelated or linked. So we are proceeding in our way, but I have to compliment His Excellency and UAE for achieving a huge progress, I would say, in that regard as well, which has had here very important parliamentary delegations, which had very detailed discussions with the UAE representatives, and I know that this issue is dealt on the expert level, on the level of my colleagues, and I'm very positive about the development. So we are very optimistic about this as well, and of course, once we're going into the free trade agreements, and as we said, the speedy one, we clearly want to make sure that everything would work fine, and I'm convinced we can achieve that.
If you allow me to add, I think I totally agree with His Excellency Maroš on without SEPA, our numbers and even the investments from the UAE toward EU are already there. To give you an example here, in the last 12 months, there was a big announcements and some of the projects start implementation as well. France, for example, we announced 50 billion investments in the data centers. Italy, there is huge investments which is going to fly. A new partnership has been built between MGX, G42 and Eni. Spain, Mastar already did an acquisitions of almost $1.4 billion into one of their energy companies, which is going to expand the investments not only in Spain but also in South America. Germany's and Andruck, big investment in the petrochemicals. Eagle Health, big announcements into Hungary. and many others. But those has been done without the SEPA. Imagine if the agreement is going to be there. I'm telling you, the numbers is going to be really big. Again, it's a new page of our strategic relations, and it's continued the momentum in the relation and the potential investments and trade collaboration between both sides. I think His Excellency already covered the second question. I'll stop.
Excellency, I think we have one more question that we can... Okay, go ahead.
Hello, thanks for your time. This is Federico Maccioni at Reuters News Agency. One question for the Trade Commissioner. I was wondering, in negotiations with the US at the moment, there seems to be quite cool on the one-on-one conversations, and in terms of the kind of proposal that you advanced so far, could you please comment on that and, provide maybe an answer on what could advance negotiations at the moment?
Thank you very much for that question. I can say that despite me being here, we are in constant contact with our American partners, and I would say that that is true for all levels. So our technical teams are talking to the partners in USTR. They are talking to the partners in the Department of Commerce, and together with Jameson Greer, ambassador who heads the USTR, and Secretary Latnik, we agreed that we would be having calls, I would say, on every other day routine. So I expect that we will have we had calls on Friday, Saturday, Monday, and I think we'll have another call on Thursday. And I think what, of course, we are looking at is first and foremost looking at all the tariff lines, what we can do there. How can we look from this new perspective for the market access? And then we are also discussing, especially with Secretary Latnik, how can we address the areas where I believe that we will be much better off if we would work together. I'm talking about our cooperation in the field of aviation, in the field of semiconductors, in the field of steel, in the field of different dependencies, especially in the area of CRMs, because I'm absolutely convinced that two largest trading partners on this planet, representing volume of trade of $1.7 trillion and mutual investments of more than $5 trillion, that we just simply have to look for the best possible frame for trade, for investment, and this is what we are currently working on. The intensity is great, and I hope that this would bring us the results for the fair and balanced deal in the end.
Well, thank you so much, Excellencies, esteemed members of the press. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just a quick follow-up, sir, on what you just said. So, I mean, did you receive like a formal response from the U.S. on like your initial proposal beyond, what obviously was shared on social media? Has the U.S. responded formally to your revised proposal?
I think that when we send the proposal, what I would understand or what I would describe as a response was this intense communication with my partners, both Mr. Latnik and Mr. Greer, where we simply discussed what else they would like to focus their attention on, and this is exactly what we are doing. So we are going through this preparatory stages, so we would prepare well, I would say, in-person meetings, which we hope will take place in the short period of time.
So basically, these are the specific, I guess, points that the U.S. shared with you on why perhaps they did not respond favorably to the proposal. Is that fair?
I think that what I think is very important to say is that we've been in quite intense communication with our U.S. counterparts practically from the first day in office of Secretary Latnik, because I remember it very well because I was there. So I know that the confirmation hearing vote was on Tuesday, and I was there on Wednesday. Since that, we've been in contacts. But of course, these are high-level negotiations, and of course, we are the biggest trading partner. So every detail matters. And now I would say that we are focusing on these details.